Alright, well, it looks like I got most of the video. It saved. I had some permissions that were fucked up in my Facebook. So, I'm going to get back to... I've added Javier to the group. Javier is the Mexican mechanic. He's a fucking extraordinaire. I met him on OfferUp. He solely collects Honda Civic parts, 2005. My year. Tell me that is not synchronicity in action right there. So, Javier... has been getting me much needed parts. He's been getting me great deals on them. He's been going out and mining the junkyards for me. And so I've added him to the group. Doesn't speak a whole lot of English. But I want him to be aware of what's going on, mainly because I owe him about $60 for some parts that he's provided, which I have not installed. But I want him to see that I'm not fucking ghosting him, because I think he probably thinks I'm ghosting him. Anyways, this is what we're about to accomplish now. Is through our ghetto-ness, we are going to do a coolant system burp. So what you want to do is you got to make sure that you don't have a bunch of air in your system. Air in your system displaces the water that's meant to be cooling. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the process that I've learned for burping this bad boy. So you got to have the car running. Because as it's running, it's circulating coolant. Now, my fan's not going to turn on, but my thermostat is working, so I'm going to wait for it to get warm. I'm going to monitor the coolant levels going in. I'm not using distilled water because I don't have any right now, but I just need to get this thing burped, and it'll start running smooth. The last time I started it was just a second ago. It seemed to be doing actually quite a bit better than it was not too long ago, but it is cool now. So we're going to make a quick mix of tap water, which you don't really want tap water, but unfortunately I need to get this thing to Monroe. So the reason why you use distilled water in an engine is distilled water is free of everything but H2O, so it's got no minerals. You drink purified water because you want that mineral content. We want the mineral content because it adds, healthiness to the water. Distilled water is just pure H2O. I forget the reason why you don't really want to drink distilled water. You can, but it's not ideal. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to create a temporary mixture, just enough to get water with coolant in the system, and I can do a proper 50-50 mix later. But you do a mixture of water and coolant because coolant raises the boiling temperature. So it's at like 170-ish. Is that the number? I think, does this put it up at like upwards of 200? So your top end at 50-50 is going to be a 255 degree Fahrenheit boiling point. So it's able to remove more heat than regular water. Regular water starts to boil and you can't move heat into it anymore until it's cooled. And then it gets to that evaporation point and now you don't have any coolant. So coolant, I didn't realize until recently, is absolutely essential. Having antifreeze, because the name antifreeze is a little bit deceptive, isn't it? It's like, well, it's summer, it's not cold. Well, in winter, it lowers the freezing point. In summer, it raises the boiling point. So what you get is water, the properties of water, enhanced in both directions. So what I'm going to do is start the car, and we're going to start to add coolant. What you're going to see is air bubbles. I'm going to keep filling it until it stops moving, and I'm going to let it sit there. And we're going to wait until the bubbles stop blowing. But what's going to happen is those bubbles, I think, are going to keep coming. Now, this is where I maybe have been fucking up. I keep losing this cap right here. That's the reservoir for the overflow. When this radiator is full, what happens is your reservoir is maintained at a low level. You don't fill your reservoir. What's going to happen is the engine gets hot and you kill the engine. You got hot water, right? And the engine's cooled off and it continues to rise in temperature after you turn off the car for a short period. And so it allows that water, which is now trapped, to expand into that chamber. As it cools, the water contracts, the level drops. when you start it back up and it's cool, it's going to pull water from the reservoir and put it in the coolant system from the vacuum. As it gets hot and it expands into the reservoir. So you don't want the reservoir to be full, because then it has nowhere to expand and contract. What I had done was I think I filled the reservoir. So I'm going to start it right now, and immediately I'm going to start adding coolant. So I know I'm going to have a lot in here. So we're going to start out and we're going to fill this bad boy up. Now this is a poor man's version of a much better unit that you don't have to build a little rubber boot for. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some coolant in this and make this thing movable. Alright, there's that rough start we've been having. That's the rough start I was talking about. But as you can see, the engine's kind of relaxed now. It's doing pretty good. It's not stuttering and spitting coolant out, but that's because it's cold. So we start to experience these problems the warmer the engine gets. So as I'm doing it, I'm holding the seal down here, and you can see some bubbles maybe? Yeah. I'm holding the seal. It'd be nice if it did it on its own. I'll get a better part later. This is $5. So I'm going to let this thing fill my coolant system. So right now, water's circulating. Thermostat's probably closed. I've got the heater on in the car though too. What the heater's doing is it's also removing heat. I guess I want it to heat up more in the beginning. I probably should have that off so that it gets hotter quicker. But you know what? I'm going to baby her. I'm going to allow her to just be her. You hear that noise? There's the engine and there's that sharp clacking. That's that pump of sorts that I removed. In my understanding, it has something to do with the emission system. I'm spilling some here. Okay. So what we got is, let's open this up for a second. Hear that? Close it. It got louder when I opened it. What we want to do is get this coolant in here, and this is going to start to sound a lot better. Let it run for a bit. Let's fill this. I got a kink in my hose here. Oh wow. That immediately affected the sound. The thermostat's probably not open yet though either. Fan's definitely not coming on. How is that kink down there? That's not kinked. Pretty good. That thing's loud though. It's getting really loud. Gets warmer. We're going to be here for a few minutes. We're going to start to notice, hopefully, an improvement. Yeah, I think I might have put my coolant hose on backwards. I think this thing just needs to get some water in its jacket. So right now I don't think we have any water circulating because the thermostat is closed. That's actually probably what's going on. So hopefully it gets hot, because I can't do anything with it right now. It's going to get quieter. Air bubbles are slowing. The air is definitely full right now. That's full. I don't need to put any in there. It's not going down. That thing is making noise. It sounds like a dry pump is what it sounds like. And because I have the heater on, it's going to take a little longer. So I'm removing heat, but it's also helping the engine. Okay, now I'm getting that series of bubbles that I've been getting. Let's see if that helps. Oh wow, it just garbled that down. Gets them in there fast. So what's happening is the thermostat's probably opening a little bit, which should be allowing more coolant into the system. I think I've been losing some. Now what we're getting is we're getting bubbles, but we're not getting any, the level's not really going down so much. We're about to start getting hot here. The noise bothers me. But everything else, the engine's not plug-a-lug chugging, so it's very directly related to what I believe the amount of coolant and maybe the amount of air, either or, combination of the two. Oh, leaking. Okay. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Now let's see here, and the fan's not going to turn on. I guess that's not critical. But what we need is that thermostat to open. We start to see some steam coming out around the radiator here. It's like a light misting of steam. The level's still not going down. I don't believe that our thermostat's open yet either. Now, the testing that I'm going to do later is going to determine if God damn. Yeah, I have that in wrong. I should just pull out that fucking fan, to be honest with you. Because the way I have it installed, it's pinching the tubes. Actually, I might just do that. That might ensure better coolant flow. Oh, I got some bubbles now. I don't know where that's coming from. It's got a nice smooth idle. I'm not getting that jittery fucking chunky idle anymore. Close it off. Open it. Oh yeah, that went down. Bubbles coming up. Sound still is kind of the same from that little fucking pump. I got the hose kinked about halfway, getting warmer. A little bit of cavitation sound, clicking. Oh, it's the goddamn air box. Oh my god. It's a fucking air box. Ha! That's funny. Oh, shit. Alright. I got that problem solved. Boom, car's fixed. That's all I needed. Fucking something that could vibrate off and spill everywhere. So she's definitely drinking this up and burping a lot, so we'll let that go for a second. Oh, wrong one. Where's my goddamn turner? Here it is. Bubbles. we might be nearing the end of her air pockets. It's weird, every time I stop the car, like, she'll be fine if I keep her running. I stop the car, which has a bunch of fluid suddenly stagnant and hot. Surrounding the cylinder jacket. So if the seal is leaking by, that water, oh my God, that water enters the cylinders due to the leak. So when I stop my car, it's going to drain into the cylinder itself. The head gasket. She's fucking having a great time now. That's why once I start driving and all that fluid gets out, so I need to be looking at the exhaust is what I need to be looking at. If I look at the exhaust, what that's going to reveal on a startup is probably a large amount of, well, white smoke and water vapor, I'm guessing. So yeah, there's her seal. But the remainder, the thing about coolant is, even if it gets a little contaminated, it's still good. I mean, not contaminated, you know what I mean? Like, it's used, comes out, it's not quite as clean as when you put it in, it's fine, because it still maintains the properties of the antifreeze. Probably a little bit of oil, so if coolant's leaking into the cylinders, and I believe it stands to reason that the coolant must be getting oil in it too. But, yep, she's all smooth right now, except for the goddamn... So the reason why this is making all that noise is because I keep losing bolts or not installing all the bolts that I take off. So I'm definitely developing a best practices methodology. But this is the bottom screw that's never been attached, vibrating against the metal. God, that is annoying. Alright, we're going to have to enact a ghetto repair, boys, girls. Ghetto repair. What do I got on me? Scissors, torch. What the fuck is that? Oh, head flashlight. Woo. No, I shouldn't use that. I had a piece of cardboard not too long ago. Yeah, she's having a good time of it right now. Smooth. My repair consists of a piece of cardboard, and I'm now going to place beneath the foot that is vibrating against the metal of the transmission case. A piece of cardboard. Shouldn't there be a rubber boot down there? But for now, problem solved. A little bit of vibration. So Shane, I'm coming to you. I have a better handle on the problem. That was all.